Have you ever felt the profound sting of being misunderstood, as if your very soul's frequency was clashing with a world that refuses to listen? You stand in your truth, a beacon of light, yet you are met with a storm of angry, dense energy. These aren't just disagreements. They are battles for energetic sovereignty, clashes of will fought on unseen planes. Winning, you must understand, is not about proving you are right in the human sense. It is about realizing you are a divine channel for a higher truth, and learning to communicate that truth with unshakable power, deflecting the chaotic vibrations of others without ever dimming your own light. After countless trials and navigating these tempests, I have unlocked 10 sacred methods for mastering any energetic exchange, for speaking from a place of such profound alignment that the lower frequencies of conflict simply cannot touch you. This isn't just a list, it is an ascension. And to guide you on this path, I will rank these divine tools, revealing which are the most powerful shields and swords in your spiritual arsenal. If this message is already calling to your spirit, let your energy be felt. Like this video, subscribe for more divine guidance, and declare in the comments which of these truths awakens something dormant within you. Let us begin with a foundational technique, a cornerstone of energetic self-defense I call the art of alchemical flow. You must understand, in any energetic conflict, the other soul will project their force toward you. They will attack your truth, your character, your very essence. The unawakened response, the reaction of the ego, is to build a rigid wall, to meet force with more force, creating a brutal stalemate. But a master of energy, a spiritual judoka, does not resist. They redirect. This is the sacred art of flowing with the current. You use the very momentum of their attack to gently guide them off balance, to lead them into a space of reflection rather than aggression. How is this done? By making a divine concession. Acknowledge a small, shimmering fragment of truth in their argument. Say, with authentic peace, "I see your point here," or "I can understand the pain that leads you to feel that way about this particular aspect. This is not weakness. Do you hear me?" Concession born from a place of inner security is a profound sign of spiritual strength and unwavering confidence. It shows you are not a rigid ideologue clinging to dogma, but an open-minded soul, so secure in your core truth that you do not fear acknowledging a fragment of theirs. They expect a wall, and instead find a flowing river that gently absorbs their charge. With this unexpected gesture, you instantly dampen their aggressive energy. You then pivot, your voice calm but firm, saying, "However, there is one core point that my spirit cannot align with, and it is this." By admitting where they are right, you earn the undeniable authority to illuminate where they have strayed from the path of logic and truth. This is an effective, essential first step in your training, which is why I place it in the effective C tier. It is a powerful shield, but it does not grant you full control over the battlefield. But what if deflection isn't enough? What if you must not only shield, but also guide the other soul back to their own light? This requires a higher level of mastery, a technique the ancients knew as the guiding light of inquiry. This was the sacred method of Socrates, a master of awakening souls not through declaration, but through revelation. He knew that telling someone the truth often triggers the ego's defenses, creating more resistance. Instead, he would use divinely inspired questions to expose the hidden contradictions in their own thinking, forcing them to confront their own limited beliefs. Instead of launching into a declaration of your own opinion, you must learn to ask questions that gently nudge the other person toward critical self-reflection. Picture a tense conversation where someone states, "If you are successful in the worldly sense, you will always be happy." Instead of refuting this, you ask with genuine, compassionate curiosity, "So, are you saying that external achievements are the only source of inner peace? Do you not believe that other qualities, like compassion or a deep sense of purpose, are also essential for a soul's lasting joy? Can you feel the shift?" By doing this, you are not attacking them. You are inviting them to explore the shaky foundations of their own argument. You are not giving them an answer. You are lighting a candle within the darkness of their own mind, allowing them to find the truth for themselves. This is a classic Socratic move, a tool of profound spiritual elegance. It is solid, powerful, and grants you deeper control of the conversation's energetic flow. For this reason, I rank it firmly in the cool B tier. It requires more patience, but its effects are far more transformative and lasting. Once you have illuminated their mind with questions, you must then shape the very air between you, the vibrational medium of your exchange. This brings us to our third method, weaving with sacred frequencies. The words you speak are not mere sounds. They are potent carriers of energy, spells that literally shape the reality you and your opponent are co-creating. You must become a conscious weaver. There are words that vibrate with the high frequency of possibility and light. Imagine, success, freedom, advantage, incredible. And there are words that carry the dense, heavy weight of limitation, maybe, difficult, impossible, I hope, uncertain. Your first task is to banish these low-frequency words from your sacred vocabulary. Furthermore, understand the alchemical power of reframing. Instead of saying, "You are making me angry," which is a pointed accusation that invites defense, you state, "I feel a sense of frustration arising within me when this occurs." This simple shift changes everything. You are no longer attacking their fortress. You are describing the weather within your own sovereign kingdom. It is an unarguable, personal truth. You can also weave in implicit statements and rhetorical questions. Instead of arguing a point, you can frame it as a shared reality. Of course, we all know this is the path that makes the most sense. This subtly invites them into your frequency, and they will often agree without even realizing they are being persuaded. This is a subtle yet powerful form of energetic hypnosis, a way of attuning the entire conversation to your higher vibration. This technique is a cornerstone of powerful communication, placing it squarely in the cool B tier. Now, let us explore a clever tool of perception, our fourth tool, the principle of divine juxtaposition. This is also known as the contrast effect. Imagine you are in a debate with a soul whose perspective is worlds apart from your own. If you present your true, reasonable position first, their internal resistance may still label it as extreme. However, if you begin by presenting a far more exaggerated, almost unbelievable proposal first, your real proposal will then appear, by contrast, as incredibly moderate, balanced, and logical. This creates a psychological anchor, a new scale of measurement in their mind. The position that once seemed distant now feels like a welcome middle ground, a safe harbor. For example, in a negotiation about commitment, one might first suggest a path that requires immense, immediate sacrifice. When that is gently dismissed as unfeasible, the true, more balanced proposal feels like a generous gift, a relief. This is a strategic tool, most potent in situations where you are negotiating or seeking compromise. It is a clever manipulation of perception, not deception. Because its application is somewhat specific and situational, I place this in the effective C tier, a useful tool for particular circumstances, but not a universal key to energetic victory. We now enter the realm of overwhelming power. There are times when you will face an energy so dense, a resistance so stubborn, that subtle redirection is not enough. In these moments, you must become a supernova. This is the fifth method, the overwhelming light of truth. You must hit your opponent with an undeniable, irrefutable cascade of pure, verifiable facts, data, and information. This is not the Gish Gallop, which we will discuss next. This is about using unassailable truth as a weapon of pure light. When your opponent makes a flimsy claim, you meet it not with one rebuttal, but with 3, 4, 5. Have you considered the 20% failure rate documented in this study? And what of the current market data which directly contradicts your premise? Have you read the feedback from these 3 leading experts in the field? This flood of pure, verifiable information leaves the other person with no ground to stand on. They become cognitively and energetically overwhelmed, unable to process and respond to every single point. They will begin to doubt their own position, not because you were aggressive, but because you demonstrated such complete and total mastery of the truth that their argument dissolves into shadow. This makes it seem as if you are in absolute control of the situation, a master of your domain. This method is incredibly potent for establishing authority and shutting down falsehoods, clearly earning its place in the Super A tier. Next, we must turn our gaze to the shadow, for to master the light, one must understand the darkness. This is the sixth method, the Gish Gallop, and it is a tool you must understand primarily to defend against it. Its goal is the same as the last method to overwhelm the opponent, but its method is corrupt and of a low vibration. Where information bombing uses real, verifiable truth, the Gish Gallop employs a chaotic, shotgun blast of half-truths, misinterpretations, and outright falsehoods. This tactic operates on a universal principle known as Brandolini's Law, which states that the amount of energy needed to disprove bullshit is an order of magnitude greater than the energy needed to create it. It is far easier to speak a lie than to meticulously gather the evidence to debunk it. If you find yourself on the receiving end of this dark art, feeling your energy drain as you try to plug a dozen leaking holes at once, do not fall into the trap of trying to refute every single false claim. You will exhaust your divine energy and lose the frame. Instead, you must do two things. First, name the tactic. Calmly state, "I see you are using the Gish Gallop technique, throwing out numerous falsehoods hoping I can't address them all. I will not participate in that low-frequency game." And second, identify their weakest, most easily disproven argument and destroy it completely and utterly with a single focused blast of truth. By exposing one lie, you cast a shadow of doubt on all of them. Because this method relies on deceit, it can severely damage one's own spiritual credibility and karmic balance if used. However, understanding it is crucial for your spiritual armor. Thus, I place it in the cool B tier. Let us now explore a true master's technique for when a battle is lost, but the war for your inner peace can still be won. This is the seventh method, known as the sacred redirection, also called the red herring. When you sense that a conversation is spiraling into unproductive negativity, or that you are losing your energetic footing against an immovable force, you must possess the wisdom to change the focus. This is not about cowardly evasion. It is a strategic move to protect your energy and recenter the exchange. You can introduce a distracting element, often in the form of a logical fallacy, to completely shift the battlefield. For instance, if your argument is being attacked, you can pivot to an ad hominem, attacking the person's character instead of their point, or a straw man, misrepresenting their argument to make it easier to attack. Or you might use a tu quoque, accusing them of the very hypocrisy they are pointing out in you. These fallacies, when used consciously for self-preservation, act as an energetic flashbang, disorienting your opponent and derailing their train of thought. It buys you precious moments to stall, to breathe, and to prepare your next move from a place of renewed strength. The ability to control the focus of a conversation is the ability to control its outcome. This is a high-level skill, a tool of immense power for energetic survival, and it undoubtedly earns its place in the Super A tier. The eighth method is a beautiful one, for it aligns with the very nature of the universe itself, the law of energetic consistency. Human souls have a deep, subconscious need to remain consistent with their own stated beliefs and identity. The ego craves coherence. Once we agree to something, we are psychologically primed to continue agreeing with things that align with that initial commitment. You can use this universal law as a gentle guide. Instead of starting with a grand, controversial point that will immediately raise their defenses, begin by getting your opponent to agree to a small, simple, undeniable truth. For instance, don't you agree that at the end of the day, kindness is a virtue? Or, can we both agree that finding a peaceful solution is always better than endless conflict? Once they have said yes, even to something so minor, you have created a thread of coherence, a bridge of light between your two worlds. From there, you can gently and logically guide them, step by step, from that point of agreement toward your larger conclusion. It becomes increasingly difficult for them to break the chain of consistency they have helped you build. Their own psyche will fight to remain coherent with its initial yes. This is a subtle and elegant way to guide a soul from resistance to resonance, a powerful tool for building bridges where there were once walls. For this reason, I place it in the cool B tier. Our ninth method taps into a sacred, mystical pattern that is hardwired into the very fabric of the human psyche, the divine trinity of persuasion. The number 3 represents wholeness, structure, and divine harmony. It is a number of immense power. Think of the universal patterns: mind, body, spirit, beginning, middle, end, past, present, future. The human brain is conditioned on a deep, primal level to see things in threes as complete, satisfying, and true. Therefore, you must learn to structure your most important arguments in threes. If someone asks you why you believe something, provide 3 distinct reasons. If you are presenting a proposal, outline 3 key benefits. If you are telling a story, give it 3 powerful acts. A single point can be dismissed as an anomaly. 2 points can be explained away as a coincidence. But 3 points create an undeniable pattern. 3 points feel like proof. This simple, elegant rule brings immense structure, clarity, and persuasive power to your communication. It makes your argument feel resolved, complete, and profoundly convincing on a subconscious level. It is one of the simplest, yet most powerful laws of rhetoric and communication, an absolute super A-tier technique. Finally, we arrive at a tool of pure, high-frequency energy, our 10th method, the divine spark of wit. This is the art of using lightning, fast jokes, and one-liners. Humor is an incredibly high-frequency vibration. It has the power to instantly shatter dense, serious, or aggressive energy in a way that logic sometimes cannot. When an argument becomes too tense, or when your opponent leaves a moment of vulnerable silence, a perfectly timed, intelligent, and witty remark can completely disarm them. It is a replica, a retort that flips the entire dynamic of the conversation in your favor. These are not mean-spirited insults. They are sharp, brilliant flashes of light that expose the absurdity of a situation or a flawed argument, often leaving your opponent speechless. When someone gets personal with an attack, you might smile and say, "That was below the belt. I bet you've been targeting it this whole time." It shows you are unfazed, in control, and can see the game they are playing with divine clarity. These one-liners can raise the bar of the discussion, forcing them to engage with more intelligence and less brute force. Because its success is highly dependent on timing, charisma, and context, I place this tool in the effective C tier. It doesn't win the argument outright, but it can certainly win you a crucial, game-changing moment. Remember, each of these sacred tools relies on a different communication strategy, a different energetic frequency. It is absolutely vital to understand that the right approach depends entirely on the soul you are speaking to and the unique energetic landscape of the situation you are in. Everyone reacts differently. Some are moved by logic, others by emotion, and still others only yield to overwhelming force. In the end, the true sign of a spiritual master is not just knowing these techniques, but having the chameleon-like ability to adapt, to flow, and to choose the perfect divine tool for each unique moment. This is how you will make a profound difference, not just in winning a discussion, but in protecting your peace and elevating the frequency of every single exchange you have. Be the beacon, but now, be the beacon with an unbreakable shield and a sword of pure light.